Loaded vegetable quesadilla. I start with just 2 zucchinis cut into little half moons and just lightly sauteed in a little bit of olive oil. You know, a little bit of browning, not so much caramelized, but just nicely browned and tasty. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of the same pan. To that, I'm just gonna add a few cloves of sliced garlic, some sliced scallions. Just about 6 scallions, and I slice the whole thing. Pinch of salt, make them give up some water. And to that, I'm gonna add a pint of cherry tomatoes. You can turn the heat up pretty high on this one. We wanna get the water out of these vegetables. And I like this kind of slow burn heat of chili powder. It smells like Friday night. Then I add 1 can of black beans, drained. And I can't help myself. I always add some acid, because you'd be surprised how much the chili powder responds to the brightness of just 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. At this point, I want to start crushing the black beans up a little bit, because I want this to be a textured paste that's the glue that makes the quesadilla hold its shape. I just take the back of a tablespoon, and then I just literally put this mix into a bowl. This looks so good. And again, just give it a little smushing. Such a technical term, right? Smushing. This smells so good. Okay, so I also have a bowl with some shredded Monterey Jack cheese. You like your quesadillas a little bit more spicy, you could use a pepper jack or any cheese with a little bit of heat, but you need a melting cheese. Don't be coming here with your 4-year-old Gouda or your block of Parmigiano Reggiano. This is not the place. We're using a melty cheese. So we have that. And one more, which is just some red bell peppers that I charred straight on the burner and then just peeled them and sliced them up. I'm just taking some medium-sized flour tortillas. You could make more of them smaller with small corn tortillas. Now, technically, we're supposed to let this black bean mix cool for at least a half an hour, but I can't wait. So take a few good spoonfuls. This mix makes 4 or 5 large quesadillas like this one, or about 8 or 9 smaller ones. And again, you'll notice I'm just pressing with the back of a spoon. You don't need to go all the way to the edge, but almost all the way. Now I'm gonna layer some zucchini on top. Imagine trying to get every vegetable and every flavor in almost every bite. Roasted pepper. We're loading up this quesadilla. And then a generous handful of the cheese. Don't be cheap with the cheese. It's the end of the week, people. And then literally place another tortilla on top. Press it down, and you can feel the black bean mix making this all just stick together. You can either grab a spatula or literally slide your hand under it and just pop it on a little baking sheet. Now this, I will let them chill up and firm up in the fridge. Press down with another tray on top of it a little bit gently to flatten it, right? To make them even firmer. I've got a nice hot griddle. I like a griddled quesadilla. It's very Friday. I wanna get that hot. Don't be afraid to put a little bit of oil on there and then just, oh yeah, it's Friday. It's time for a margarita. Look at that. When I see the edges of the tortilla start to get brown, that's when I go in and give it a flip. Don't worry if a little bit of filling falls out. No big deal. But a little bit more oil around the edges when you flip it, and a pinch of salt on the outside of that tortilla, right? So I'll let these cook 2-3 minutes on each side. I like to have a tray ready just to pop them on there. Okay, so these feel really hot and ready to me. Nice and golden brown on both sides, a little bit of char. Take them right up off that griddle. Okay, so now it's time to just finish these up and eat. Again, spatula, best way. Pop them on a cutting board. Use a big knife. Cut confidently from this part of the knife. I'm gonna just cut this in 4. And then dot it, if you want to, with just a little bit of sour cream. And it melts a little bit because the quesadilla is still warm. You hear that sound of the crispy tortilla? I've got a cayenne chili here. Totally not mandatory. I'm putting a tiny bit, just a sliver or 2. that little pop of heat. And a little bit of cilantro. Just tear off a little bit of the stems and just use the top sprigs of cilantro to garnish. And these are ready. All right, so a delicious, I know you're a steak lover, but bear with me, because this is a vegetable quesadilla. Zucchini, peppers,
okay.
a lot of garlic, scallions.
See, the key is you gotta like, you know you're from New York when you do it like this.
I think that was.
Oh yeah.